My name is Beth, and I want to welcome you to a nice, short, basic yoga movement series with just gentle stretching, just bringing a little bit of awareness into your body and a little bit of invigoration into your day. So welcome. Let's go ahead and get started. We are going to start by coming into child's pose. So coming into child's pose, you start in your tabletop position with the palms underneath the shoulders and the knees somewhere underneath the hips. And let's bring the knees about hip distance apart or maybe even a little bit wider. You're going to start to shift your hips back towards your heels. And before we go any further, let's leave the arms long, fingertips out ahead of us. And let's just start to shift side to side, kind of just swaying just a little bit. Just massaging and working into those hip joints. And if you find that being in child's pose or being on your knees is just a little bit irritating, you can grab a blanket and place that underneath your knee. And I should have started by saying that you really don't need anything for this class. Potentially a blanket, a yoga mat if you happen to have one. If not, you just need some space on the floor. But if it's not carpeted, you might want to just pause the video for a minute and just grab a blanket and just place it right underneath your knees. So when you're ready, like I said, let's just start to shift side to side. And then let's do a little shoulder stretch. Maybe walk the fingertips a little bit further out away from us. And then let's just draw the right shoulder down and the left shoulder up. You'll feel a little stretch in the back of the shoulder, kind of like where the shoulder blade is, maybe a little stretch under that right arm. And then let's switch to the other side. So draw that left shoulder down and that right shoulder up. Tiny little spinal twist in the spine. And now let's just alternate between the two. Just notice how that feels. You won't be able to move side to side, but if being on your knees in general is just not conducive for you, you can go around and come onto your back and just gently hug the knees into the chest. And then let's let the chest kind of fall down between the thighs and settle in, and then start to lower our forehead towards the mat. If the forehead doesn't reach the mat, that's fine. You can stack the palms, you can stack your fists. If you have another blanket handy, you're not using it or a pillow, something just within hand's reach, you can place that underneath. And then let's start to settle in. And we usually do this at the beginning of practice, but I am seated or reclined, but I really wanted us to start in child's pose. So if you haven't already, let's close the eyes, start to bring the attention inward. Maybe deepening the breath. And then take another moment or so to select your drishti, which is the Sanskrit for your focus point. So that as your mind wants to interject itself into your practice, especially our thoughts, you have that focus point to come back to just bring yourself back to present moment. Take one more breath here. And then let's go ahead and reach those fingertips back towards the top of the mat. The ears are down somewhere by the biceps. If the forehead doesn't touch the mat, doesn't matter. Your arms are engaged, so the elbows are lifted off of the mat. If you're on your back, then you're going to draw your arms up overhead. And then see if you can kind of draw the chest towards the mat a little bit more as you press into your tailbone. So you're noticing a gentle stretch underneath the arms, a little opening maybe in the chest, and then some stretching through the back. Hopefully that feels nice. And then let's take that extension of those fingertips and now let's walk them over to the right. And then gently draw that left shoulder down if it's starting to pop up. And just slightly press into that left hip. So you feel a little side stretch.
from that left pinky finger all the way down into that left hip. If you're on your back, you're going to just reach those fingertips over to the right. Take one more big inhale here. And then lock those hands through center and then bring them over to the left. Same thing, draw that right shoulder down, press into that right hip. If you're on your back, move your fingertips over to the other side. And then let's slowly come back to center. You're going to slide your palms back towards your shoulders. You're going to press yourself up to tabletop. On your back, I'm going to have you come around and make your way to tabletop as well. So tabletop, the fingertips are spread wide and the hands are somewhere underneath the shoulders, wherever they feel most comfortable and conducive to you. And then same thing with the knees. They're somewhere underneath the hips where you feel like they're just providing you a nice solid foundation. And then you're going to engage the belly. Lift on that place between the shoulder blades and bring the gaze down between the hands. And let's take a few rounds of cat-cow. So find your breath. Inhale, lift the chin, let the belly drop, press the tailbone up. And then as you exhale, press the floor away, draw the chin to the chest, pull the tailbone in. Now you're going to alternate between the two at your own pace. Linking that movement and that breath together, that is the practice of vinyasa. That's all it is. So if you're not familiar, it's just linking movement with breath. They don't want you to fixate or worry about having that breath correct. It doesn't matter. I just want you to focus on how you feel. So next time the chin comes to the chest, find yourself back in a nice neutral spine. Let's take a moment. Let's come into puppy pose. So keep the hips right above the knees, and then let's walk the palms forward. Maybe the fingertips come off the mat, and let's start to open the chest towards the mat. Nice stretch underneath the arms. We're back into the spine again. And then let's go ahead and come back up. Let's bring the hands back just a little bit, but they're still towards the top of the mat. And let's keep the arms straight as we shift the hips forward and down to the mat, coming into Sphinx Pose. So we're opening through the chest, lifting on that place between the shoulder blades and stretching through the front of the hips. Hold for one more moment and then start to bend the elbows, releasing the chest down onto the mat. So fingertips stay spread wide, elbows are tucked into the rib cage. The gaze is down to the floor ahead of you, so you're not creating any compression in the neck. And then engage the feet, press the tops of the feet into the mat. And let's find that breath again, and let's gently inhale, lift the chin, open the chest, little baby cobra. Exhale, release down. So same thing, linking that movement and that breath together and moving at your own pace. So this strengthen the muscles in the back, our posterior chain. And so as you inhale and rise, it's your back that's getting you there, not your hands. Your hands are just there for support, kind of maintain integrity. Let's take one more round. Let's inhale up. Exhale, the chin comes back down to the chest. And let's slowly press ourselves back up to our tabletop. So from here, and you can use your hands to do so, you're going to bring your right foot forward. So the right foot is on the mat and each knee is in roughly 90 degrees. And you can bring your fingertips on the mat for a little bit of support. I have to use tented fingertips, but it allows me to find my foundation. And then you're going to bring your hands to that right knee and slowly press the shoulders up. So now, excuse me, your shoulders are over top of your hips. And we are in Lunge or low lunge. So from here, let's keep that right hand on the knee and let's inhale those left fingertips up. So you're reaching, reaching, reaching. And you're going to turn that palm to the right. So the palm, the back of the hand is facing out. And now let's reach those fingertips up and over So you're taking a nice little side stretch there. Now this is going to challenge your balance. You're going to feel yourself getting a little wobbly. I did. So in order to kind of help that and stabilize that, engage your quad muscles, create a little bit of balance here. And then let's come back up to center, flip your palm so it's facing forward. Now let's reach the fingertips back. Let's open the chest. And then slowly come back to center. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take those fingertips and we're going to start to reach them behind us. So we're taking a little spinal twist. And maybe even the gaze comes over towards that left shoulder. Pause for a moment. And then sweep the fingertips up. That's going to draw the shoulder blades back and you're right back where you started. So from here, let's hinge at the hips. Bring the fingertips back to the mat or back to the floor, framing that foot. And now what we're going to do is we're going to shift forward. We're going to open up those hips. We're going to hold for a moment and you're just going to stretch. Just let that open up. And then we're going to start to shift the hips back. Walk the fingertips back. You can use your hand for help. Go ahead and bring that right foot back to meet the left, landing back in your tabletop, kind of a neutral spot. And then let's take one round of cat-cow. It's just a little way. I like to throw this in like a little reset. And then you come back, engage that belly. So now we're going to do that little sequence again on the other side. You can use the hand for help. You're going to bring the left foot forward. You're going to frame that foot, fingertips on each side. Engage those quad muscles to help with that balance. And then bring your hands to your knee. Shoulders right up over top of those hips again. And then from here, with that left hand on the knee, you're going to inhale that right arm up. So the palm is facing to the left, and then you're going to reach those fingertips up and over to the left. Into a nice side stretch. And then let's slowly come back to center. Flip the palm so it's facing forward. And now kind of reach those fingertips behind you. Opening the chest. Now we're going to slowly make our way to that spinal twist. So you're going to start to reach those right fingertips towards the back of the room as the right shoulder draws back. Maybe even the gaze comes back. Hold for a moment. And now let's start to sweep those fingertips up through center. And as we bring those fingertips in front of us, it's going to draw that right shoulder right back to where we started. And then we're going to hinge at the hips. Frame that left foot. And now we're going to open the hips. So this is one of the few poses that it's okay to bring the knee to or over the toes. That's really the concern is in the back of that leg. But, you know, we make the same motion when we go upstairs. So, but it's always important to be mindful. Let's hold for one more breath here. And then start to shift the hips back, walk the fingertips back. And then bring that left foot back to meet the right, landing in your tabletop. Let's take a round of cat-cow. And come back to neutral. And then let's take a moment and come into downward facing dog. Let's bring a little stretch back to the back side of the body. So from your tabletop, you're going to tuck your toes, lift the hips, and open the chest. Let the head hang heavy, ears down between the biceps. Press the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Pressing into the fingertips and the knuckles. Let's bend the knees and pedal out the feet. So we're stretching the knees, we're stretching the ankles, stretching the bottoms of the feet, which is very important, and the toes. And then let's start to find a little bit of stillness and see if you can just invite the heels down towards the mat. If they don't meet, that's fine. Don't worry about it. But just the focus needs to be on the back side of the body and the stretch that's happening. So just let that feel good. And now let's bring the gaze forward. Let's bring the knees down to the mat from your tabletop. And let's make our way around onto our backs. So once you're there, leave the soles of the feet on the mat and then let's adjust. I always encourage a little bit of movement here so you can get the spine acclimated to the floor. Tuck the chin a little, soften the shoulders, and then from here, let's extend both legs out long. Reach the arms up overhead into a soft full body stretch. Maybe wiggle the toes a little bit. And then let's bend the knees, bring the arms back down by the sides, and let's draw the knees into the chest, soft squeeze. And then go ahead, set the feet back on the mat. Let's bring the arms to the sides, the floor, wherever they're comfortable. Press into the feet, shift the hips just a little to the left, and let's let the knees fall over to the right. Just a gentle spinal twist to try to keep that left shoulder relaxed against the floor. Let's take a few moments of breath here. And then let's very gently begin to bring the knees back up towards the ceiling. Press into the feet, shift the hips on over to the right. Let the knees fall over to the left. Gentle spinal twist now the other side. Check in with that right shoulder. Make sure it's nice and relaxed. Just again, noticing how you feel. Does it feel nice? If it doesn't, maybe adjust a little bit or fix it. And then let's slowly start to bring the knees back up to center. When the feet land, use the feet to bring the hips back in the neutral so you can find your midline. And then let's just extend the legs out long. Taking a few moments to close our practice in Savasana. Just closing the eyes. Let's relax the jaw. Let the body soften. Let's take a nice big inhale. Inhaling through the nose, fill the belly up. Slowly exhale out. Let everything go and allow yourself to surrender into the moment, into this pose, knowing that I will be here to bring you back when it is time. Very gently beginning to deepen your breath. Just take a moment to stay right in the stillness, but allow yourself to notice how you feel. Hopefully you feel just a little different than you did when you started this practice. Hopefully you feel a little bit more balanced, somewhere between energized and relaxed. And you can stay right here on your back if you want, or you can bend your knees, roll onto your side, make your way up to seated. It's really up to you. Let's bring the hands to heart center. Let's close the eyes, bow the head, and take a moment of gratitude. That gratitude is for yourself. We're taking a few moments to just honor yourself, to get in touch with your breath, to get in touch with your body. And of course, I have immense gratitude for you for taking time out of your day and sharing that moment with me. It's a privilege and an honor.
So I want to thank you. I hope you enjoyed this class and you enjoyed the sequence. Please feel free to leave me a review, or if you wish to contact me with any questions or suggestions, you want to talk about yoga, you can find my email address in my bio. I hope you have a wonderful day, and namaste. Thank you.